just a scene for scene like remake of the movie. It's just in live. It's like, but it's live action, and it's like that's the only like thing about it that's like the selling. It's like just a gimmick almost. You know, it's like I could just watch the cartoon and get the same story.
Dude, there's fucking hella people over here at the beach protesting. There's like 400 people.
I think there's a protest off.
Yes, 50 states all for one 50-51 protest.
Seems like they're doing that shit like every Saturday now. Yeah.
By the way, you talked about bears before? Sorry to...
You mentioned space.
There's a YouTube video of this guy. He's like in the Arctic, and he's like in this like all glass like room, and there's like bears that's trying to kill him, but he like can't get through the glass. But like you realize how much bigger polar bears are than you intuitively think they are. Like you realize like, oh, this thing's like a monster. It's not like a, I don't know. I didn't realize how big they were. These things are fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, they're going extinct. It's kind of sad.
Yeah. All white things are going extinct these days, so if you don't know, if you understand what I mean.
Shut up, yeah.
You're gonna throw you in the well.
If you catch my drift,
Oh my god. Some of these signs are fucking laughs. It's like a guy with the cardboard sign that says like Hex Elon. It's got like a pentagram on it and shit. The other one's like MAGA, morons governing America. Morons are governing America.
Again. Oh my god, like, I saw this great picture, and it was like, this is like the proper way to build a sign for a protest, and like, the stick that the guy has his sign taped to is just a baseball bat.
He's ready to throw down.
The only thing about these protests that I really wish, like, I don't know, it's like, effective protest has to have a really specific target, you know? And the problem with, like, Trump right now is that he's just, like, he's doing, like, 6 scandals a day, and it's, like, impossible to keep up with everything or even, like, sort of prioritize, like, what's the worst thing he's doing, you know? I don't know.
Swastika signs with cancel symbols on them. Yeah, I think you're kind of right. But the thing I think protests are useful for is that like to get people together. People can talk and meet each other and make plans and shit like that. That's kind of difficult considering the weird, isolated internet vibe we all live in.
I was there, Sasha. Yeah, it's been kind of a detriment to a lot of the protest movements lately that they don't have like they just need like a list of like, this is what we want, you know, this is exactly what we want. It's not just like Trump is bad, okay, you know, which he is, but it's just like, you know, to make the protest more effective, it's like you need like concrete demands. Like you can say, hey, see how many people showed up for this? This is a referendum on XYZ. It's like they're specifically there for that.
Yo, what's good, bro?
Yeah.
What's good, my guy? Benji,
Yo, Pop.
What's up? Fuck y'all talking about?
Okay. Like even my worst enemies, Norm. I never remove Norm. What did you just call me?
Remove comedy, except
Oh shit! I just got on.
Assalamu alaikum! Allah habibi!
I forgot who did the Trump thing. The trenches had brought it.
Who's sludging these trenches? Who's sludging in these trenches?
Is that you, crackhead?
Hello?
Is that you, crackhead? We don't like the new character. Okay?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Alright,
Hello?
Goodbye.
Hello?
Common sense.
Common sense.
Hello?
You said what they should be investing in. Common sense. Shit.
Pragmatic, reciprocal,
I'm just saying.
tariff.
Just saying. Common sense. Let's start.
5 years minus 5 years plus 5 years. What was the eureka moment for you that you pondered and reflected and said there is no God?
So this some wild stuff popped. So check it out. So originally it was like the MAGA people were like, nah, he ain't gonna do no fucking terrorists. Like, man, they ain't gonna happen. Well, I mean, maybe they might be good. We should probably think about them. And that now it's like, they're fucking great. We should support Trump. He's got a secret. He's got a plan in place. It's gonna work out for us. I mean, this is a scope.
Listen. When was the IRS invented? You remember the time period the IRS came out?
Like 19
early
something.
Yeah, 1930.
Like around, or maybe 19.
All right.
Probably around
Okay, around the early 1900s. All right, boom. So you know what was popping? What was popping before the IRS, right? It was the tariffs, right?
Okay.
Well, yeah, but
Hold on. Hear me out. So y'all know around the early 1900s, when the IRS came out, and and we had all these wars, and then the Great Depression, and all that fuck shit started happening. You remember, like when they talk about the country being fucked up, that's the time period they talking about, right? So when my son talk about make America, when my son talk about make America great again, right? The time period that America was great was right before the early 1900s. You heard?
well, I mean, it depends on the metrics you want to use. Like a lot of people would say, hey, actually, like the 1950s, as far as economics go, were like much.
As a whole, hell nah. Nigga, the 1800s was better than 1950s.
Brian's it's literally called the Golden Age, is what Sully's referring to. Not that early, not that late.
Yeah, the 50s is when you get like think middle class growth, right? Which is like that's when the U.S. becomes like this consumer economy, and like the point, and they now have like basically power of the purse over what the world produces, right? It's like we get to decide what people are making. But like the tariff thing, like Trump seems to think it's a problem that we have like trade deficits with other countries. It's like, this is like a poor country that we buy a lot of diamonds from, right? But they don't buy much stuff from us because they're like a poor country, And for some reason he thinks that means they're taking advantage of us, right? Which it of course doesn't.
I mean, I would like to say something about tariffs, and it's more of an inquiry than an actual take on the whole thing, because I'm not an American and I don't live in the US. But the way we look at it from here is that they are basically aimed at making an incentive for American companies to go back to the US, right, and open their factories back in the US rather than relying on cheap Far Eastern labor, if I'm not mistaken. Am I correct so far?
That's like one of the ideas behind it. It's like protectionism, for U.S. industry.
All right, brilliant. And to achieve that, I think once you impose those tariffs on other countries, be it reciprocal or not. I mean, I don't know. I watched some clip the other day. I don't know. I was just scrolling, and the orange man was holding some sort of like a list, right? He was just like trying to say that he's being fair with other countries. And anyway, so what I'm trying to say is that if this is correct, the first implication of it would be some increase in products that basically come from those countries that basically used to export their goods to the US with lower tariffs, right? With lower, basically, restrictions. But on the long run, when those American companies would have established and rebuilt their infrastructure and their companies and factories in the US, that will significantly change the whole scene. But to judge what is happening in the short run with a very limited, narrow kind of time frame, I think this is where things could. And correct me if I'm wrong again. This is how I see or read this whole thing. What do you think?
I'm not sure what the long-term payoff is supposed to actually be, because it seems like, okay, yeah, sure, you could try to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. and say you're successful in doing that. Okay, is that supposed to mean that American workers are receiving higher wages? Like, surely, like, we want them to have higher wage jobs than manufacturing jobs in the future. All right, so that's like one point, and then two is like the price of goods would go up. You know, so the fact they're making more, like, you know, in theory than they were making, is just going to balance out with how much more they have to pay to buy stuff. You know, so it's like I don't really see what the net benefit is supposed to be. I think that the benefits we get from like more free trade with other countries is like much larger than the benefit we get with tariffs, basically. I mean, you can use tariffs like in an intelligent way. For specific things, you know, because you're basically dealing with externalities in the market when you do that. But across the board, tariffs make absolutely no sense, and I think almost all economists agree with that, you know.
You see, sometimes there can be some sort of like an inconsistency with what's being said and what's being applied. When you say all board, I'm not quite informed about what is actually imposed, because again, you hear again the term reciprocal. And when it comes to those products that will become a bit more expensive when those tariffs are put into effect, I think that the incentive for domestic production will rise to a point where those products will start to be manufactured domestically. I can only imagine, and I'm talking about the long run. I'm not an economist, and I think that the purchasing power would probably increase as well, because a lot of people who probably had struggled before all of those new changes to probably find a job or, you know, do something where they could be trained to, you know, be in a certain position, will easily find those positions and will easily get better kind of situation in the labor market.
Yeah, I mean, I think the U.S. labor market would be in a better situation if we just invested heavily in education and, you know, the kinds of jobs that pay more than manufacturing jobs. I think that's the strategy we should have been taking.
Comedy. Go ahead. You don't have.
Yeah, I mean, there's things I'd like to read, you know, from pundits who are talking about Trump and the trade deficit and tariffs and the political climate and the economic situation, the deficit, the national debt. But, you know, the now is all important, and I've got to get to my boat. So I could, you know, address what Ellie is talking about. And Sully, I would just say that, you know, in philosophy, and going back to the title, why can't people stop talking about God? I mean, I would say that the now is all important, and that there is nothing but the now, and it's a compression even into your own personal life. So really, if you believe that the Word is God and God is the Word, I mean, the reason why people can't stop talking about God is because it's the decompression of the ultimate generic word. So the all God, the God all, the all Father. The reason why this is the song that will never end is because the Word just spins out limitless songs. So I'd say don't fear the debt. Don't fear money. The only thing we really have to fear is fear itself. And, you know, as if you're a wise, intelligent American, you'll just know that, you know, there's nothing to fear. That essentially what we're doing is playing a mindfuck on ourselves, meaning that we are essentially communicating doom and gloom instead of joy and prosperity. And Trump does project the golden age continually in the communication that he puts out. And everybody has to live with the Donald Trump podcast. So the mass communication starts from the top, and Donald Trump sets priorities. And prioritization, there's so many ways to analyze communication, language theory, linguistic theory, it's all a hypnosis though. So all communication is hypnosis and all communication is comedy. Trump is a comedian. He's smiling and he's laughing. So if you're not smiling and laughing, there's a good chance that you've actually not understood the signals, or I would say like the hieroglyphics or the glyphs, meaning that Mercury or Hermes is smiling in the communication. So it's just basic words, and there's 10 words, 10 not 11, 10 not 9. And all communication is hypnosis and all communication is comedy. I'm complete. Thank you, Dr. Benji. The game begins. Can you please do a hard room reset and play, your theme song? Thank you. I'm complete.
I would love comedy to elaborate on when he said every communication is. How did you describe communication again? You said hypnosis, right? And comedy, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I would love to know what you actually mean by this, and how is it that you have come to this understanding?
These are just like, I would say, communication axioms or communication aphorisms, and this is all just theoretical, meaning that most of us are just operating off of scripts, exports, downloads, uploads. All of our actions are determined by these scripts, which is communication. So the point is to be aware of that and to try to transcend it. The game begins. Welcome back to the game.
Come on, man. Here's your back track.
I'll just go back to the title and say that, if the only...
Everyone, I want to play a game. You can respond.
So I'm trying to say that if the only thing we have to fear is fear itself, and you have nothing to fear, well then what is the nothing? The nothing is essentially God. It's the no thing. And so in the no thing, you should find humility, you should find awe, which is really fear. Meaning that once you're aware of this X theory, you should actually be kind of afraid of how you spend your time. Meaning that, God is the nothing. And so you should be humble and you should have awe. It should create a sense of joy in the sense that it's eternal and vast and infinite. And you are an extension, a part of that infinity. And so it should produce joy in that respect, but it should produce humility, which is a little bit like fear, meaning like, whoa, I better not overdo it. Like, I better have balance in my life. I better have equilibrium in my life. I must make it a priority. And the now is all important, and that's where you can make those things a priority. So this is a little bit like that movie The Network, where he says, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore, and you burn your TV, you throw your TV out, because you realize that programming communication that comes through your TV is actually trying in a way to subvert your own true will, which is health, strength, joy, happiness, your own kingdom, your own splendor, your own greatness, your own beauty, all those wonderful attributes. So the problem is there's a lot of propaganda, misinformation, disinformation, and reverse hypnosis. They're not even giving you a reverse engineered solution. They're giving you problems through the communication, if that makes any sense. Basically by wasting your time, because there's cliff notes and shortcuts. So this is like the basis of information technology. And I know this is a ramble, but I think, you guys are on this app a lot, talking to your phones, listening to words, and Benji here is giving you all an opportunity to realize that this is like a riddle or a game. And you have to transcend above the words. Once you go silent, you can get in tune with the nothingness, and you can realize that the more you think, the more you speak, the further from the truth you're going to get. Stop thinking, end your problems. Know your priorities and take action. That's pretty much the theory. Thank you for listening. I am complete. We'll call you. Don't call us. Thank you very little. Goodbye. Have a great life. Take care. Bye-bye.
Here it comes to that guy.
I'm glad to hear Benji is a Buddhist. You would like to hit Benji what? You're a Buddhist, sir, according to Comedy's description of you. I don't think he said that. But look, you should ask him. What am I?
I don't think he said that either. And you should never take
You should ask him. What am I?
out of context. You should ask them.
You should ask him. What am I?
Ask them.
Nah, I enjoy my preconceived notion much more than listening to an explanation.
Socratic method. Ever heard of it?
Supply, but we'll find out. Will the game ever end? We shall see.
See, the game is dealing with self-hypnosis. Everyone is technically, when you're doing rhetoric or public speaking, you're doing a self-hypnosis, which is like a self-roast. And most people aren't aware of that self paradigm. Self is another word for, you're like a cup, and what comes out of you is what you've put into it. And so, anyways, I don't want to do an English as a second language room and let everybody know that this app is primarily a way for non-native English speakers to expand their vocabulary. But that's what's happening a lot. And so the point is, there is no point except now. And everything is compressed in now. So, what are your priorities? And why can't you stop talking about God?
It's time to make a new game in the house. Hopefully that everybody could come. You live your lives wondering and questioning about God every day. I wonder if you ever realize what you're arguing over and you'll see the truth. Will you escape the trap or be trapped forever? I don't know.
Did somebody say I'll see you at the park? Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
I'll ask you why you haven't accepted the Mahdi way. Surely that's correct. It's just like the language, and I guess you understand, right?
Oh, now he wants to troll you.
Language and attention to detail, I told you. There you go, Margaret. And I guess it's language and attention to detail. Surely that's all you need. And why don't you accept that interpretation? Might be because you really don't want to believe it. That's what I hear.
This has been a very funny day. We've had some funny recordings.
Oh, well, then that rules you out, so that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, that rules you out definitely, for sure.
Good night. So it was interesting your experience. So you were a Christian, went to Christian places.
Your question, Trent. If we actually want companies to bring it back, put in labor credits. Because that's the main reason.
I got labor credits now.
And it's not enough. It's not enough to bring back manufacturing in the way that we want it to go in. Labor makes Trent, please allow me to finish, man. If I can come up and Big Mike this shit. I'll Big Mike this shit if I have to, man. Just my point across. God damn.
Well, Jay, why don't you and Trent go back and forth a little bit? So after you wrap up, Trent you respond back to him.
I bet labor costs make up the majority of a company's budget. Knowing that, why in the world would they decide to keep it here, knowing that these policies are not going to be forever? That's all, Trent. Go ahead.
Listen, I'm on my third vodka cranberry. I don't know what to tell you, okay?
That tells us a lot.
To tell you a lot. These thoughts may not be complete. I just want to tell y'all that, and to preface with that. But labor credits were good. Jay, I'm not against labor credit, and I believe you got to have a multi-pronged approach. But nothing makes companies react, and they have reacted fast, like the penalty of tariffs, right? It's a major shift and forces you to bring back the labor force to America. And I don't understand the people who, so I do understand it, but you have to remember the people who are the economists and these people, tradespeople that are against bringing back American jobs, that are against tariffs, benefit from going to countries like Mexico where they pay $3 an hour, and going to Southeast Asia where you can pay $2.50 an hour for labor, right? These are the people that benefit. So of course you're going to see in the Washington Post and Forbes and Wall Street Journal, of course you're going to see the people, the class that benefit saying that this is bad. But
bro, if I hear benefit one more time from your mouth,
hold on.
We are the words that we use. The words that we speak are the words that we are. The words that we use are the words that we are.
Yo, what are we doing?
Is this international month or something? What's going on?
Yeah, so try to finish in 20 seconds. Jay,
I'm basically done. Yes, the word is benefit. Your Rust Belt countries, from Youngstown, Ohio, Trenton, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh.
Those are countries. Somebody get this man an animal.
I told you I was.
He's on his third vodka cranberry cocktail this morning.
I meant cities, but yes, those Rust Belt cities are the ones that will benefit. So yeah, come on and tell me that that's the bad for y'all.
We finally have reciprocation with the tariffs. It's common sense. It's common sense tariffs.
What is wrong with y'all niggas?
Sanjay Venzi.
Alright, so then I just went ahead and posted on the Smoot. Oh, Lisa, go ahead. You want to say something?
No, I was just saying, I have my earpods. I have my earpods in. You guys are so smart. I just have my earpods in. Can you guys just like talk one at a time? I'm learning so much. Thank you.
So then, again, this is how I know that a lot of people here don't really study history whatsoever. If anybody here ever remembers the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act, which increased tariffs on all imports between 35 to 60%, and it did vary between countries, similar to what Trump is doing now, it caused, number one, the prices of everything to go up. This is what exacerbated the many issues in the Great Depression. Number two, it caused global trade, specifically trade with the United States of America, to decrease by 65%. And number three, during this time period, although yes, manufacturing did come back to America, as was the goal of the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act, guess what also happened? It's actually just what Philip said earlier. People did not get those jobs that came back because companies had to cut in order to keep up with the cost, so their companies didn't go bankrupt. Similar things happened in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s when we had a trade war with China, and the
Try
majority
to
of
take
the
a breath, Dr. J. Take a deep breath and hold it for 10 seconds. You're being so emotional, sir. There is nothing to fear but fear itself. How long will you continue to hypnotize people with your lies and disinformation? This is bullshit, guy. Moderators, pass the mic and mod your room, please. How long will we go with this nonsense? This is propaganda and bullshit, low IQ stuff. He's not even saying
Jay has
anything.
20 seconds to land. Thank you for your commentary. Jay, wrap up in 20 seconds and then we're moving to Z.
Says number one. Alright, bet. So I'm bullshit, but I posted links that provide everything that I've said so far. I love it. But just to finish off, CC, please hold on.
Things that you just said, because it's not even.
Please provide sources afterwards. Please provide sources.
You're talking about.
Please provide sources. Please provide sources for anything that you're trying to review. Please provide sources for anything you're trying to refute. Anybody can just say, "Oh, you're wrong." I don't need to. I've been able to provide sources. All right. Can I go? It's finished.
All right, so Z, it's on Z. Yeah, Jay, so land in 20 seconds, please, and then Z.
See,
Everybody just keep.
Absolutely. And then
You don't shut the fuck up. I could have been done, TC. Shut the fuck up for 20 seconds, man. Let's have a challenge. Let's have TC. Shut the fuck up.
Stop, Jay. You have to stop engaging TC. Okay? You're going to lose your 20 seconds if you don't engage, if you engage TC. Stop engaging TC.
Alright, cool. So just to finish off, everybody's making these tariffs seem like a good thing, when in fact, they're not. Increasing tariffs at this rate has caused us to lose our trade agreements, some military agreements that we had, and lose many of our allies in the process. In the long run, this is going to hurt America more than benefit America, and I will go ahead and put more links in the
This is
chat.
negative neuro-linguistic programming, negative dialectic. You are bullshit guy. There is nothing to fear. Why are you spreading negative words? You're a liar and a con man.
First of all, can you put some articles in the chat where they're saying the tariffs are benefiting anybody? Can you do that?
Z, go ahead. Z, you're up. After Lisa, sir.
No, I'm sorry. I just want to ask whoever was just talking last, can you put any articles in the chat that says that these tariffs are beneficial to anybody?
Yes, I researched Franklin Delano Roosevelt. I looked up the historical context. I used ChatGPT, and I know exactly.
Babe, I'm talking about today.
You'll have your turn, Comedy.
2025. Is this
She was asking who was the last speaker. I was the last speaker, sir. She's not listening. Yeah. She's earphoning. I am telling you that within the...
I know it was you. I'm talking to you. I'm just asking you to do that. I don't want to hear about Teddy Roosevelt. He's dead. Those times are over. None of us.
No, FDR, greatest president ever, who said the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Can anybody tell me why he's screaming at me? I just want to.
He's about to get moved
I'm
out.
telling you that the Hegelian dialectic, the propaganda and low IQ vibration that is coming out of this room.
It's all fun. It's all good that you guys go. It's all fun that you guys go and pull up historical comparisons. But the thing about it's great that you guys can go back and pull up history because we're supposed to learn from history, but it doesn't apply to today, 2025. We have a different economy, and this nigga's talking about, what did he say?
90 years ago. 90 years ago.
Yeah, it is just crazy. You guys need to stop that shit. If you read, I appreciate it. If you know history, I appreciate it. But you don't know how to migrate over, and you don't know how to interweave what the fuck is going on today. That's why we're fucked up right now.
You're 100% correct, Lisa. 100%
I appreciate it. I'm going on mute.
Right there, CEO.
Well, Z is supposed to be Z and a Levant.
If we're gonna have a conversation, we're gonna respond to people's points.
Yes.
That's gonna get long.
Yes.
Well, TC, I'll give you a chance to respond because this question is directly for you.
Thank you, TC.
Talk about something else.
All right, so Z's going to address you, TC. You'll have a chance to respond. Go ahead.
I'll give you a chance to respond. Simple question. Earlier you made a comment, but then you got a phone call. You said you like Donald Trump's economic policies. You think they're great. So just help me understand. Think of me as a dummy who really doesn't know a damn thing. What are Donald Trump's economic policies? What does he stand for? What is he about?
It's very clear, Mamadou. You reduce spending.
See, I knew you was right up in there after you talk shit about politically correct in every room you in. What's going on, bro? What's up?
We're trying to spread the truth. We're trying to spread the truth about Donald Trump and the Republicans and why Democrats are liars, frauds, cheats, hypocrites, and spread low vibration politics.
I'm going to respond to Mamadou's question. So, listen to the question. Yeah, I know. You're always on somebody's ass.
Yeah, whatever. You're always talking shit about political.
That's why you smell like
you
ass
up
all the
in
time.
here?
Listen, Chunky Monkey, I'm talking. Go back on mute, okay?
Don't talk to her like that. That's what you get, Niglet. No, he be up on Chatter and then IGB talking shit. You can come back up, but I'm just gonna remind you that we don't fucking forget, crackhead. They can bring your old ass back up.
I went ahead and put in a couple of links in the chat discussing trade and tariff wars from 2016 up until now. Since everybody's saying that I'm only looking at the historical perspectives of it, looking from the 1930s to 80s, I went ahead and put some from 2016 until now, and you will see that everything I said still holds true. So I'm just confused as to why niggas were on some bullshit earlier.
So let me respond to Mamadou's question. It's not going to be long. He asked me what is Trump's economic policy. It's very clear. You reduce spending. You cut the size of government. So reducing spending means the tax cuts that are coming out.
People are saying I'm a fake bald. I'm a fake bald. I like that one. That's the funniest insult I've ever heard. He's a fake bald person.
What is his policy? $900 billion.
I love that one. That's a very funny joke. You know, or a roast.
The federal spending. Number two, reducing the size of government. He's already dismantled departments. He's working to dismantle departments like the Department of Education, but agencies under the federal government like USAID are already being discontinued. So not only is his economic policy include reducing the size of government, cutting spending, but it also includes increasing revenue. By placing tariffs on other countries that have disproportionate trade relationships with America, he's increasing revenue, driving more revenue for the federal coffers by collecting more, putting additional tariffs on goods and services that are coming from outside benefactors, but simultaneously incentivizing domestic manufacturing. The likes of Hyundai,
nothing much, man. Just getting back home.
I just sometimes feel the need to get people going.
I could tell you were enjoying yourself every time I heard you talking. I could hear your smile when you're.
Sorry, I started button clicking and exited the room.
I'm gonna find in the room is trolling each other. Like, but it's just good. I find it fun.
Wow, it says someone I have blocked is in the room. I wonder who that is.
It should tell you who.
Ah, I got it. No, it's the guy that records the room.
Comedy.
Yep, who is
Recording
who's
the
that
room.
guy? Yeah, Chicago, whatever. Or
That's right. It's your comedy troll hour. I'm here to troll all the bullish Bitcoiners.
Hey, did you see how well Bitcoin did with the markets collapsing? Were you impressed?
What's it at?
Something.
80 something still?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive that it didn't tank. Yep, gotta admit. So, I don't know.
You should invest.
Well, I don't know if you'll allow this troll, but I would like to read to you Peter Schiff's most recent tweets.
Oh, I love his most recent.
Yeah, you can read a Peter Schiff tweet.
Pulling up Peter Schiff on X. Okay, these are Peter Schiff's last tweets. And mind you, he has an incredible interview out about his dad and how the IRS killed his dad. So this is Peter Schiff's latest tweets. Tariffs won't result in global dollar shortage, just lower trade deficits. But our trading partners will have fewer dollars to buy U.S. stocks and bonds, and Americans will spend more of their dollars buying higher priced U.S. goods. So the dollar and U.S. asset prices will fall. Next tweet. Trump said our trade deficits are unfair to Americans. As a result of these deficits, poor Americans are burdened with too much stuff. Our closets are too full. Our kids are spoiled with too many toys. Our homes are cluttered with too much furniture, appliances, and electronics. Next tweet. The U.S. tariff to import a yacht was 1.5%. Now the tariff to import most yachts will rise to 21.5%. This will actually cause a net loss of tax revenue to the U.S. government, as now yacht buyers who may have paid the 1.5% to flag in the U.S. will opt for foreign flags instead. Next tweet. Actually, I may have this wrong. The tariff on importing most yachts will be 31.5%, not 21.5%, which is why no yacht will be imported. This is the last
I'll just build it here, and that's better for America. Shut the fuck up. All of this is boring.
This is the last one I'll read. The U.S. stock market is a bubble. The tariffs were the pin that pricked it. Ooh, they kicked me! We trolled them. That was it. Did you see that? Cheers. Cheers! Oh my god, they're such a sensitive bunch. Oh, that was wonderful, actually. They did me such a compliment.
Decided by Sasha.
But real quick, Beckel, why aren't you a Muslim?
Why aren't you a Muslim? That's the biggest troll question I've ever heard Andrew ask.
No, when you analyze Islam, what's wrong with it?
Okay, that's
Wouldn't you accept it?
right there. Yeah. I don't really know much about Islam, to be honest with you, except from what I've learned from Sam Shimon and David Wood and other, people on the internet who've spoken against it. So can't really say too much.
So give me like prime.
It's a Muslim, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's fine. What do you think of prime to it?
Yeah, well, I definitely can't get with it because they deny the divinity of Christ. They refer to him as just a prophet.
Sure.
They don't believe, from what I understand, they don't believe that he actually died.
Right.
So
and what's the
to
next
me,
thing?
that's paramount amongst many other things. Yeah.
What do you think? Okay, well, are there any? What do you think about the Aisha relationship?
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Okay, see, but what if God wanted to? But what if God wanted to do it that way?
Well, there would be a just reason for it, I presume.
But notice, but see, do you have to know that before you would be open to Islam? I mean, do you see the problem with like?
Yeah, you have to be convinced of it. Yeah, God would have to convince me.
No, Andrew is in my top 5 atheist debaters.
Andrew, are you an atheist? No.
No, I just in terms of I'm just saying like as in the way he debates for atheism. MashaAllah, it's amazing. It's a sight to behold.
I mean, I guess if you think that it is a problem that Muhammad was with Aisha, presumably God could have Aisha be mature, right? Supernaturally, or just picked her out. She's a special girl, matured quicker, or whatever. And then you really wouldn't have any objection, right?
Well, again, like I leave it all to God. God would have to be the one to convince me of whether or not that something like that was actually disgusting or acceptable.
Well, but do you? Well,
I mean, are we looking at God as the ultimate standard for morality, or are we looking at for something else apart from it?
No. I'm saying God is the ultimate standard, right? So if Islam is true, then Allah did sanction that, and it is something that you can't really speak in that way, right? I mean, you would have to say, I don't like this, but if I was a Muslim, it could be the case that this is completely acceptable. And so it's kind of
like awuga.
It could be.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't be able to right. So it seems like, and even the historical stuff, it's kind of like, well, what if God chose to do it that way? What if God chose to make it?
If God chose to do it that way, it doesn't mean that I would, as an individual, be convinced, though.
No. But what I'm saying is if you do the thing where it's like God just chose to do it this way, and I don't need to make any kind of reasonable attempt at giving some explanation for.